G'day there guys, random advertisements from like 10 to 15 years keep popping up into my head, like that gorilla playing I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight, or whatever that song was. Really interesting one, but I liked it nonetheless. It's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/AmiTheA. That was really random, and there might be some random stories on this one today. Hope you enjoy them. Posted by user Mum's Replacement Son, titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my mother that my husband is not her replacement son?" So my parents have two kids, me, female 26, and my brother Dan, male 34. Dan had a rough time growing up, and frankly, my parents failed him. As a teenager, he struggled with severe addiction and mental illness, and they did almost nothing to help him. By the time he was done with college, he had completely cut off my parents. To this day, Dan and my parents are still estranged. I, on the other hand, still speak to my brother regularly. My parents, especially my mum, take every chance they can get to mourn the loss of their son and act as though my brother wronged them by leaving. Dan has told me he wouldn't mind reconnecting with them, but only if they reach out and apologized first. I've encouraged my parents to do this, but they insist that he betrayed them. I got married early last year to my husband, Jeff. We have a happy marriage and he is adored by all my friends and family, but I feel like my parents have been crossing some boundaries. For example, whenever we've gone to visit them, they've insisted that he sleep in Dan's room, saying that their son, my husband, has come home and should sleep in his rightful bedroom. Before the pandemic, my dad would take Jeff out to sporting events and introduce him as his only son. Most of the pictures of my brother in my childhood home have been replaced by pictures of my parents with Jeff. The other day, my mum called to invite me and Jeff over for the holidays. I told her I wasn't comfortable traveling during a pandemic spike. She was irritated but dropped it. Then she called Jeff and begged him to visit without me because apparently it's cruel for a mother to be without her child on Christmas. Jeff politely told her that he wasn't going to visit without me. She's been emotionally blackmailing him ever since, sending him pictures of stockings with his, my mum's, and my dad's names on them, and saying, "But we already promised so-and-so that our son will be in town." This felt ridiculous and unsettling, so I called her up yesterday and explained to her that she's violating our boundaries. Jeff is not her replacement son, and no matter how much she pretends that she doesn't have an actual son, she does, and it is her responsibility to make up for the damage she did to that relationship before it's too late. She started crying and called me cruel for mentioning Dan, and said I have no idea what it's like to be a mother, and it's disgusting that I'm trying to deprive her of a son when she has already lost one by keeping Jeff away from her. My father agrees with my mother, and Jeff agrees with me, though he doesn't like to rock the boat, and thinks I should apologize anyway. I thought I did the right thing, but now I'm really not sure if I went too far. Am I the a-hole? I just feel so sorry for your brother, OP. They've really been shunted by your parents, and now all that guilt and reconciliation is being pushed through your partner. They seem so resistant to owning up to their mistakes and doing right by their actual son, they'd rather erase him from living memory than bridge that gap. Add on the emotional abuse they're dishing out to your significant other, and how it's led to them pushing so many boundaries. I just don't see how you pushing back could be a bad thing here. It would be bad if you enabled them and let them continue with their games, as it would just hurt you and your partner even more. So I'm going with not the a-hole. Now in the comments, Slotty B says, "Not the a-hole, and your parents sound hella abusive emotionally. If you plan on having kids, set your boundaries well before you start that journey." And OP replies, "Oh, for sure. I do not want my children to have the same childhood I had. My parents have always been a bit off, but until now I've just kept my quiet and put up with it. Something has to change, clearly. Honestly, if you have a boy, run for the hills, because they'll start that crap on your kid next. Not the a-hole. Your parents need major therapy. Also, sorry to be the one to say it, but your husband needs to tell them to back off. Something like, "I'm not your son, you aren't my parents, it is not cute, it makes everyone feel gross, this stops now." I mean, really? I assume Jeff has or had his own parents. No one should have to deal with guilt tripping and emotional manipulation, and, "but I miss my baby," from people that didn't even raise them. God damn. Also, the intimation that she married her brother? Ugh. I read this wearing a surprised Pikachu face. For real, not the a-hole. So not the a-hole. Your parents sound mentally unbalanced. This is a seriously unhealthy behavior, and it will have a negative impact on your marriage, because to them, you got married, and your husband is better than their son. They don't have to be responsible for the emotional upkeep like they did with their teenage son, and so they're replacing their son with your husband so they can still feel good about having their son while still maintaining the role of victim where their real son is concerned. That is convoluted beyond all reason, and you need to make some very firm, very lasting boundaries with them. How are they going to act if you and your husband ever have a baby, especially a boy? When they overstep your parenting boundaries, it will be to talk about that baby as their baby, how they raised him, etc. I'm definitely extrapolating here, but it isn't exactly a reach to think they will not only continue this behavior, but escalate it. And OP replies, "Thank God. The way my parents were talking to me, I thought I was crazy for finding their behavior disturbing. I think you're so right about potential kids. I know that even now, I'm not really comfortable being around my parents, so there's no way they're seeing me without defined boundaries, much less any children I may have." And OP leaves some edits in their post and says, "Thank you all so much for the support and advice. I appreciate it so much. I haven't been able to sleep, so I've been reading every comment. I don't know if I have the emotional energy to just post in Just No Mother-in-Law yet, but I'm reading a lot of what's posted there, and already feel less alone. My tentative plan is to arrange for me and Jeff to get individual therapy, and maybe couples therapy later on. We're going no contact with my parents for a while. I'm also planning to invite Dan to stay with us over the holidays. I have a lot to make up for, and I want to spend as much time as I can with him and let him know he's loved." Edit 2. Also in response to the people pointing out the gross incestuous implications behind this, with the way my parents talk about me and my husband, most people who didn't know me growing up assume that I'm their daughter-in-law and Jeff is their son until one of us corrects them. And now on to the update. Hi, I posted several weeks ago about a situation in which I felt that my parents were trying to replace my brother, Dan, with my husband, Jeff. I want to first express my gratitude for everyone who commented and messaged me. I was raised in an unhealthy environment, and as such, I was very out of touch with what normal family dynamics and boundaries look like. The support, the resource recommendations, and the respectful criticisms have all been invaluable to me as I've begun to confront what I've avoided for a long time. People have messaged me asking for an update. Well, I'm happy to share good news. My husband and I went no contact with my parents as many of you suggested. We've also both started going to therapy. We've only had 3 sessions each, but I can definitely say that it's been a total relief to process things that I have been bottling up my entire life. I already feel like I can understand myself and the cluster F that I grew up in significantly better. Kinda kicking myself for not trying it sooner. Jeff has felt the same way with his sessions from what he's told me. Under professional advisement, we're holding off on couples therapy until we do a few more individual sessions, but we hope to start in the near future. Now for the main good news. My brother Dan is spending the holidays with us. After taking health precautions, he drove up last week and is staying with us past New Year's. Having Dan around has been incredibly special for me and Jeff. Dan and I have been making up for so much lost time, and I've never seen him smile so much, and it warms my heart. I did tell him about the situation with our parents and Jeff before he came. It was hard to hear, but Dan has a really strong support system and seems to be processing it in a healthy way. He's coming up on 7 years sober now. I was finally able to apologize to him for not stepping up as a better sister earlier in his life and enabling our parents' abuse. He said he doesn't blame me, but I still want to show him through my actions that I will always be there. My parents have been pretty much losing their crap this entire time, especially when they found out Dan is with us. As a people pleaser, I'm proud of myself for being firm and maintaining my boundaries. Right now, my heart is filled with more love and joy than it has been in a long time. I know life won't always be like this, but my brother is safe and healthy and happy and knows he is loved, and that is everything to me. I am sincerely appreciating what I have. Anyway, happy holidays everyone. Thank you again for your help and much love to all of you. Edit. Wow. All of your comments and messages have had me happy crying all day. I did not expect such an outpouring of love and support, and it is making an already beautiful holiday season even better. The compassion you have all shown us means so much more to me than I can even say. And thank you for all of the awards. I have been showing Dan all of the comments congratulating him on his sobriety, and he wants to say a heartfelt thank you. Emotions are running high in our house today. This Christmas Eve is one for the ages. Now in the comments, Ines2 says, "Yay! Merry Christmas! Enjoy the peace of going no contact with toxic family and the joy of being with people you love and who love you." And OP replies, "Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you too." Holy crap, I've just looked at your other post and yeah, definitely not the a-hole. Your parents sound creepy as hell. Sorry, but that's not normal. Anyway, good for you guys for finally turning things around. Stand your ground with this, and Merry Christmas to you, your husband, and your bro. Well done for going no contact, but even more so for going to therapy, apologizing to your brother, and really working on yourself. Takes a lot of courage to address stuff like this. Also, congratulations, because it sounds like Jeff is a legend, and I'm happy to hear that he is supporting you through this. I don't have much to tell, but 7 years sober, that's an achievement itself. Give him a hug from an internet stranger. Love to your family and Merry Christmas. It is a huge accomplishment. I will definitely pass your hug on. It'll mean a lot to him, and Merry Christmas. I love positive updates, but yours is one of the best. I'm so happy that you and Dan have each other, and you're standing your ground. Best wishes to all of you, and Merry Christmas. Our next post is by user TimeBomb969, titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my friend the truth about an influencer? Cannot believe I'm posting this, but I was asked to, and here I go. I'm 21, she's 22, both female. We went to high school together. So in high school, I had more free time, so I followed some influencers on IG. Thankfully, I grew out of that, and the friend in question was, and still is, living in her dream world, trying so hard to emulate some IG influencers, mainly fitness/booty building ones. Enter this influencer. I don't know, can I name? I followed her at first because I liked her MU style. She had the perfect life, a long-term solid marriage, their own business in fitness, a house, 2 dogs, and then a baby. My friend caught on to me looking at her and followed her. 2 years on, we finished high school and grew apart. One day I scroll through stories with the influencer posting a clickbait YouTube vlog. She also made money off YouTube. It's got her crying in the thumbnail. So I open, watch, and I close the video, appalled. Basically, when their child was around 1, they continuously let her taunt their older dog, 8 male lab mix. They filmed her for stories and vlogs how she's doing some things to him. One day, the dog had enough and growled a little, so they took it upon themselves to euthanize him without trying to rehabilitate him or to adopt him out. That's their own words. It wasn't the first time they refused to discipline their child by instilling boundaries, and it wasn't the last time they filmed their kid taunting the animals. I was furious. I went to her IG, and there was a crap storm. She blocked everyone who said something unrelated to complimenting her ass, deleted comments inquiring about the dog, and ended up twisting the story fully from the video. Apparently the dog was aggressive 24/7 for months, and it had to be done. Normally, people would remove the dog from such a situation as soon as it happens, right? When she got tired of people calling her out, she deleted the video 4 to 5 hours after posting, and comments. I unfollowed her then and there. Fast forward to pre-pandemic, I stumbled upon friend and she wanted to go grab coffee. I was looking forward to catching up, but got seriously disappointed fast. She was still stuck in her bubble, still obsessing over IG models' bodies, ignoring the obvious surgeries, Facetune, thinking it's all natural. The mentioned influencer was still on her follow list, and she started showing me her photos. I told her I'm not following the influencer anymore, and after being asked why, I explained why. The look in her eyes has changed, and her mood went downhill. She was pretty mad at me for destroying her view and image of that influencer and how I'm lying. Some pages covered it, so I'm fairly sure I'm not lying. She paid for her coffee and left, and refused to talk to me since. Another high school friend wants us all to catch up soon, and I don't know if I want to reconnect with the friend in question. Am I the a-hole for telling her the truth about an influencer? We'll add more info and comments for clarity if necessary. Edit 1. Thanks for the comments and all judgments, everyone. I appreciate it. I'm not really considering her a friend for a plethora of reasons besides just this. We have no communication, so I suppose that's how it's going to continue being. The virtual reunion, I'm not sure how we'll do with her. But there's a chance she might not show up given that she only likes the friend that proposed the idea of it. Anyways, it's one less headache in an already difficult time. How your friend can just up and leave you because of you exposing the terrible acts of an influencer that doesn't care about either of you is beyond me. You're better off without this person in your life, OP. If she wants to follow her little cult clique mentality, then so be it, but that doesn't mean you have to go join her too. And what I mean by that is, she's brainwashed, you don't have to be brainwashed also. I would be happy that she left my life if I were you. You didn't go out looking to upset her. She mentioned the influencer, and you spread the good word. It was her choice to hear it as the bad word, not the a-hole. Now in the comments, Joelum88 says, you're definitely not the a-hole. Full disclosure, I have an Insta account in a particular niche with enough followers that I'm technically classed as a micro-influencer. I do it purely for enjoyment, but to be perfectly honest, the more I do it, the more influencer culture just puts me off. A lot of the bigger influencers are just random people who got lucky, and they're certainly not an example for anyone to follow. The amount of people I see on there modeling awful and dangerous behavior is a bit disturbing at times, and even more so when the proportion of their followers who seek to idolize everything they do. It becomes this giant echo chamber, with each crappy influencer having their awful behavior reinforced by their followers. Good on you for seeing the truth and not succumbing to the perfect image that gets portrayed by the majority of these people. It's a shame your friend can't and won't take an objective look at it. And OP replies, "Thank you so much, and I apologize if my text or other comments insulted you in any way. I'm just over significant influencers who lie about being active in gym and selling programs they didn't write or diet plans unauthorized by actual nutritionists and dietitians, all while the influencers themselves have had surgeries or edited their photos and lied about natural physique. My friend was heavily influenced by this booty queen of IG so much, she had gotten 2 same tattoos in the same place as the BQ did, and she tried so hard to emulate the booty queen's tiny waist, which was and still is Photoshop plus genetics mainly. It got me sucked in deep and created so many body issues that I struggled so hard to get out of it. Majority are gone, but there's still some days I have brutal self-doubt. Growing up on the internet, with these people and their body trends changing each year, have so much negative impact on an impressionable and developing young mind and body. This literally slapped me in the face to notice how other influencers are as well, and that nothing is as it seems. But try bringing it up with someone who's such a hardcore fan like my friend, immediately I get labeled as jealous, hateful, vindictive, etc. Honestly, not insulted at all. I'm in the home account and interior design niche. And honestly, while it's not as rampant with the photoshopping, fake stuff, dodgy diet scams as the fitness world, it's still full of people who just want to get their free stuff or peddle MLM crap to their poor followers. There's also a trend of buying stuff for your house, taking photos, then returning things, so that there is an appearance of always having new accessories. It's gross. I try exceptionally hard not to be one of those influencers, and in all honesty, I quite often need to take breaks due to the fact that you're just in this world of people who just wanted to be Instagram famous and get free stuff. It's a bit nauseating sometimes. You're completely right about the critical analysis of accounts like this being labeled as petty, jealous, and vindictive. It's part of the reason why people get themselves into debt or poor health trying to keep up with influencers, because any dissenting voice is seen as a hater. It's exhausting to be a part of, to be honest. And Treeflower77 says, "Not the a-hole. You told the truth about an influencer, but your friend didn't like the answer. You can't change that, and if you lied, that would have made things a million times worse. Give your friend time to accept that her perfect role model is not perfect at all. She'll have to accept it when she sees it with her own eyes, right?" And OP says, "I replied to another comment how my friend is still under the illusion that everything on social media, especially Instagram models and their bodies, are real and raw. While I respect those who work themselves to perfect their physique, and while I'm not against surgeries or Facetune, I'm not going to respect the majority of them being in the second group and telling or lying to people they're in the first one." We sent her videos and photos of influencers photoshopping their bodies, like IG versus reality videos, and she said she doesn't want to see it. She says the videos are the ones that are edited. And now on to the update. Hey everyone. I felt like I had to make this after being asked to, and seeing some people say they were curious about what would happen during the reunion. I also appreciate all the comments, judgments, and personal stances, plus talks I've had with other commenters about friends' behavior. P.S. I did not expect so much feedback and traffic on the post, so thank you for that, plus awards. It's been a month since. The friend who wanted us together, A, flew back home early. She studies abroad. About 10 days after the post. Due to having to isolate, we postponed the virtual get-together for this upcoming weekend. She spoke to the friend about joining us for a round of drinks virtually, and she said no. A asked her why, and F, for friend, explained that she thinks all of us are childish and immature. Why, you may ask? Because, if you read my previous comments, she thinks we are just plain jealous of women on IG who make a living as influencers. F sees that as her future career, she neglects her current studies, and focuses on Instagram more. She locks it and unlocks it every few days, deactivates at least 2 times a month, and throws her phone when she sees someone she thinks looks better than her. She's back to her old habits and destroying herself because she would not stop obsessing. She's hurting herself all over women who surgically enhance themselves and also edit to no end. I'm using Instagram only for art and some activism. F blocked me so I can't contact her there or see her, but it's for the best maybe. If she thinks she's smart and we're childish for wanting to help, I'm sorry to say, but I was on my last nerves and I can't help anymore to those who refuse to help themselves. The get-together, aka virtual reunion, is happening with our group this weekend and without her. As far as the influencer goes, I'm not sure if my post made it to Instagram as some do, but friend 3 from the group, who knows this throwaway, sent me screen records. It was the influencer's story, and get this you guys, she posted photos of her kid hugging the other small dog, then another story baby talking, "Is that you best friendy? Aw, you guys are so cute. How they're such a good duo and all, 6 hours after my post. And then she slipped by posting her daughter having a tantrum, being angry at the dog because he jumped off the bed and went to sleep. She wanted to throw the ball at him while being angry, and I heard the weakest, most passive no from the influencer. The kid threw herself on the floor, wailing like in the movies. If she saw that and sees this, then hi woman, please take care of that kid. Anyways, that's about it. Nothing too important, but like I said, I wanted to update for those who enjoyed the OG post and ask for an update eventually. Hope y'all are staying good and safe as you can. Now in the comments, Disco Demon 40 says, I think it's hilarious that the woman thinks you're an a-hole because you made her aware of the horrifying actions of an actual a-hole. Like, how dare you tell me about these gross things that woman has done and said and put out into the world? It's so bizarre. And OP replies, I feel like this was the cherry on top of the mountain of conflicts with her. Here I mentioned she throws her phone seeing someone who looks good by her, aka Instagram naturally unachievable, surgically and digitally modified standards. In my old post, I commented how this was an ongoing battle. All 6 of us in the group were a-holes towards her, from her point of view, because whenever she'd send some influencer that had obvious Photoshop and surgery done, we'd find that influencer on an exposing page. By that, I mean we'd find a decent page that just reflects on how much work these people have had on them. Kind of like that sub that shows the reality of Instagram and compares it to real life. They'd post a before/old and after/current pic. Or they'd have a video of 2 photos overlapping, like Instagram pic and pap pic from the same outing. In short, it'd show what influencers would fake in terms of surgery or editing. F was so pissed, and in return would say that we secretly run the accounts. I wish I had the time. Or how we've photoshopped and did something to the pics because she truly, truly believes all Instagram material is raw and real. But also, I feel her pain. I was an angry child when I was told Santa is actually my parents and grandparents. Is it wrong to equate the situation to this? I don't know, but it's the first comparison that came to mind. Hope your friend gets some help. It's really weird how influencers go out of their way to say that their photos are edited and such, but never really seem interested in tackling the weird parasocial relationship that makes people's brains break in the first place. Well, I guess if they did, they wouldn't make money anymore. So I suppose it's not that weird. Alright guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you need a good laugh, please do check out my second channel, Markee 2, links down in the description below, or it's going to appear somewhere on the screen here at the end, little bubble with my face on it. As always, a big shout out to my Patreon and channel members. Your faces are surrounding me right now, and I love to have you guys with me, and down in the comment sections of each and every video, and just knowing that you're always there to support me. It's a humbling and lovely feeling. And rest assured, I do see you, and I do notice your support, and I thank you every day for being here and helping me along this journey. Not much else to say besides that, guys. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I do hope that you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I will see you in the next video, and thank you again. Bye.